And as quick as that, we're back at the end of another video. Thank you very much for watching this episode, all about doing the extra... Oh, just realised I never did an intro for this video. Well, let's go back to the shed. There we go, just like a proper intro, we're starting back in the shed. Whoops. Welcome back to Offroad Crusader. This episode is going to be about beefing up the rear end of the 200 series. Already it's much beefier than, say, the Prado was, just because it's a bigger, heavier car. So it's just got bigger components there. And also there's the whole Land Cruiser versus Prado thing, which I still maintain that the 120 series is a Land Cruiser. It's just a different sort of variant. But there is also, when you look at the size of components on a Land Cruiser versus a Land Cruiser Prado, there is a difference there. So anyway, but we're going to be beefing it up as best we can. The weak point for a lot of wagon four-wheel drives, and a lot of four-wheel drives really, anything with a solid rear axle, is the lower control arms. So if you come up and you hit them on a rock step or a log or something and you end up bending them, it's going to try and pull one of those rear tires forward. And it can really mess up with alignments and bits and pieces and cause all sorts of issues. I don't want that to happen to me, so I'm going ahead and replacing the lower control arms with these flasher units from Superior Engineering. So these ones here are very, very beefy. They've got nice big polyurethane bushes, steel sleeves in them. They look gold, so they must be good. So we're going to be putting those in the car. There's a pretty simple, straightforward process. I'm also going to be changing over this, which is the Panhard Rod. So the Panhard Rod is basically what keeps that diff centered under the car. As you lift the vehicle up, because it's a fixed distance, it tends to try and pull the diff to usually the driver's side, especially when you're flexing or larger lifts, which can cause the car to handle not quite as good as it should. Whereas an adjustable Panhard Rod, you can actually adjust for that difference, and it should drive much nicer, and also should allow the diff to move much easier as well. The third and final thing is some rear shock guards. And I can already hear you saying, Todd, you've got BP51s on the rear. They've got plastic shock guards. You silly head, of course I know that. But if I kept them, I would have no reason not to install these beauties. So these are rear shock guards for the 200 series made by Kaon. Same ones who did the pet barrier that I installed in the previous video, which I'll link to up there somewhere. And these are just an amazing looking bit of kit. And even if I don't install them on there, they're just so pretty. They look amazing. All that pressed stainless steel mounts up in the factory mounting location and essentially performs a big firm guard against sort of rocks and things like that. Also, because it comes around the bottom, it'll also protect that lower bolt and also the lower bush as well. So I think they're a good idea. I'm going to be installing them. Of course, they come left and right, and you're mounting hardware and stuff as well. So I'm basically going to push through this episode. You've already seen me change over a Panhard Rod with the Prado. You've seen me change over the lower control arms in the Prado as well. It's mainly these shock guards which will be the interesting thing. So I'm going to blaze through, install the others. You'll get to see them getting done, but I'm not going to spend an hour on it and bore you with all the details. So let's jump straight back into it. There you go, you can see the actual size difference between the original and the Superior Engineering arms. I believe these ones are hollow, they feel hollow, whereas these are solid. And they're gold, so that's better. Different bushes. Cool, so we'll get it back in. What I think may need to happen is we use a ratchet strap to help pull the rear diff back towards the front of the car, just in case those bolts don't line up, but we'll get to that bridge when we cross it. Position. No, right. Ah, no. Oh no. I put it in upside down. Oh well, it's gonna come apart again. So I don't exactly have a 3-inch spanner to go over these locking nuts because they're massive. So just some multi-grips to do the job for now. I'll keep an eye on that, and if they come loose then I'll retighten them, but for now that's on there really, really strong. Very happy with that. Again, I did make it that little bit longer just to sort of cheat a little bit because I'd need to sort of pull the diff over there to make it work, but by lengthening the Panhard Rod, the bolt holes are lined up, so we'll see how she goes. If it's horrible, I can realign it just by turning that bit thing there. So, cool beans. Let's move on to the shock guards. Now we're going to fit up these lovely Kaon rear shock guards. Basically sit over the shock like that. They pick up a factory hole up in here, and then 2 that come in from the sides as well. I'll show you them when we put them in. But essentially the first step is to line up this 13mm bolt at the top there. Basically that one will go in. There's basically a nut plate on a stick that gets fed up from underneath. You then match that up and loosely fit that one there, and then you can fit the 2 from the sides there as well. With the BP51s you don't have to remove the shock guards, the plastic ones, because the clips can be a little bit of a bugger to pull off and put on again. But yeah, this way we can just fit them up. So we're going to get that top bolt in now, and then actually I may even just do the bottom ones now and then feed that one up there, because I think it's going to be a bit funny trying to do it. So alright, let's do the 2 back ones then. Just going to give a good coating of anti-seize on these bolts, because whenever I go off-road and then I have to wash the car, usually after a heap of mud and things like that, I'll want to take these shock guards off to clean behind them. So a little bit of anti-seize is definitely going to help. That one up. There we go. There we go, that's nice and firm. There we go, now they're in. I can redo that top one. So I'm just using a 13mm socket to help me purchase that bolt a little bit better. It's actually really good visibility of the back of it from behind. So I'm going to try and line her up. Yeah, I think I got it. There we go, now that's all done. We're going to go and tighten all these nuts and bolts up respectively. Kaon do specify that for the M8 bolt up the top, you want that at about 22 Newton meters, and the bottom one at 44 Newton meters. There we go, rinse and repeat for the other side. Draw me like one of your French girls now. Thank you guys very much for watching this episode all about beefing up the rear end of your 200 series. If you want to know any more about the products or any of the parts that I've used, I'm going to put links for them down in the description. And if you'd like to see these parts get used and abused as they should do, keep an eye on this page as well, because we will be doing some harder trips coming up as well, tackling some of the harder lines you wouldn't expect the 200 to attempt. I'll say attempt for now until we actually conquer them. So again, thank you very much for watching. If you do like this video, be sure to subscribe. I'm interested to hear your comments about the parts that I've installed, or if there's any other videos you'd like to see me do as well. We also have Patreon as well for those who wish to support the channel in more ways than one. Check out that as well. There'll be a link down in the description. And yeah, we'll catch you on the next episode of Offroad Crusader. Cheers guys.